Alright guys, Harbor Freight. We love Harbor Freight. Well, I'll take that back. We don't necessarily love Harbor Freight, but we love certain things about Harbor Freight, as I've talked about in other videos. Anybody in the continental United States that has been to a Harbor Freight Tools understands completely what I'm talking about, because while there are some good items in this store, there are some things that you should never buy. So let's talk about that. Don't buy that. I bought one of these jump starters one time before, and it was okay. Wasn't great. Their fuses I wouldn't buy. Stethoscope probably doesn't work great. Feeler gauges, $5. So these are good for cutting up to make shims, stuff like that. They're about $7 at Home Depot's. Good place to get one of these. These are always handy to have. And really any cheap tool that you may or may not use, except for things like this. Don't buy taps. Don't buy drill bits of any of them. Now there is new lines like the Bauer and all that. Maybe we'll try some of those one day. But if you're working on your car, say I had to replace my gas tank one time, fuel pump in my gas tank, and the disconnect set, the fuel line disconnect set, either one of them, these little doodads can save you a lot of grief. So, you know, things like that, these valve compressors and stuff may not last very long because it's soft steel, but you know, automotive, I mean, these, we all use these, $1.99, it's fine, throw away stuff. There are also, there's this ITC member price compared to this, except it's like $40 or $50 a year, and I just don't think, I've thought about it, but I don't really buy a whole lot from here. Some people have said that these air compressors are pretty good, but I don't really use an air compressor in my shop, so literally this whole section is all air compressor stuff that I'm not really into. Caster wheels, regular wheels. They moved their grinders over here. These used to be on the other side of the store. This is the one I use in the shop, and it vibrates the whole dang bench. And I should have bought this one because this is a half horsepower, and this was a 3/4 horsepower. I was thinking, you know, bigger wheel would be better. I wish I could get a lighter duty one with a bigger wheel, because I wanted the bigger wheel, but I don't need it to be as horsepower-ish. So if I would have bought that one for $40 instead of $42, no, 6/8 inch, $10 difference. So that's why I upgraded. Like a random emergency tool thing. Of course, I could get a little bit. Look at the little baby one. Mini tool grinder with $30. You know, I don't know. Toe straps and jacks, pulleys and presses. I bought one of these. Cheapy ones. So this one, I think it may have been this one, to keep in my truck. This brush, $4. Got one of those. Oil pump wrench. I don't know if you do your own oil, but it'd be handy. Siphon pumps. I bought one of these. It's not great, but for $7, could work in an emergency. Parts trays. Got a couple of those floating around. Chain breaker. Here's their lubricant section. Not a lot of price savings there. Nylon Pliers, good for automotive work. Hold on, I gotta Google an address here. I don't condone buying very many hand tools at all. However, I've always wanted to get an impact driver. Where are we? So yes, you can get cheap screwdriver sets. You know, $2.99, but they hurt your hand. So you can upgrade to these kits for $7, or jump up to the new ones that they are promoting, Quinn. Probably compared to Husky. Six-in-one aluminum. Should have done a Harbor Freight version of this too when I did my 6-in-1 screwdriver video. So I think I'm definitely gonna get this for $8.99. because I have needed it before, trying to remove hinges manually. So we'll test this one out. And I'm also here to see if they have a threaded nut setter. So we'll see if they do. Yeah, another thing, I ran out of rubber gloves, and if we come over here to the rubber glove section, they are pretty cheap, but I'm not fond of them at all. These may be better. I do need more gloves, so we'll go with a pack of these. Now, how well are these compared to the Home Depot ones? I really like. I'm not gonna get them. These I weren't fond of. I haven't tried the 9mm, but I like the ones from Home Depot because they're, I don't know, it just has better things. I'm gonna be working in the yard this weekend. I might as well pick up an extra pair of gloves. There we go. Work gloves. One size fits all, except they're huge. Let's see if we can find Kim a pair here. Ladies' gardening gloves. Gotta make sure there's no latex on them. She's got a latex allergy. This is for sticking your arm up a cow's ass. Gonna think about the gloves. I don't need that, but I did need a set of sockets. And I can't recall which ones they were. Probably I should have looked before I did this. Let's go look for a. I'm gonna get one of those. In case I have to do the threaded inserts again. But I want to go look to see if they have the threaded insert tool here. Because if they do, I'm gonna buy it. I've been wanting to try some of these. See how they hold up for $17 for a linesman. They're really cheap. Really, really cheap. I don't really use needle nose enough to warrant buying one. I've always needed cable cutters, because that's one cutting with a scissor. That is one that I've always needed. And that opens to what? Yeah. I'm gonna think about that. These things work. Okay. No electrical, no. I wouldn't trust my life to any of that stuff. Bolt cutters. $38" 20 bucks for a 36-inch pair. $20. Versus $20. So would you buy? Oh, here's another one. Pittsburgh cable cutter for $7.99. I bet you those jaws would get screwed very quickly. Oh, this is new. Snap ring plier set. Almost all these are going to be too big for locks, though. So, not really a great idea. $12 to $30. Need to cut a tailpiece on a rim cylinder. I wonder what that would cut. It's $9. Threaded tool thing. Here we go. That's what I'm here for. So that's what I'm gonna get. Not a great price for $22, but felt it would have been well worth the $22 the other day for me to not have to do what I did. We'll give it a shot. It'll probably break within the first few, but we'll see. Files. So, needle file sets. These are actually very handy. I've already got 2 or 3 sets that I haven't even opened. I like the kind without the handles versus the other ones because, number one, they're cheap for $2.50. You can use them for filing whatever you need to file. If you lose one, if one breaks, which they do break if you put a lot of side pressure on it, it's whatever. Now the regular files, Never really bought them, so I can't say. Y'all have seen my video with the squeeze play. These are the clamps. $2.99. Perfectly fine for that. And short, because they don't need to be any thicker than whatever. Hobby Vise. This is where my hobby vise came from that video. Y'all remember that video? The locksmith's secret to picking locks. Yeah. Crowbars and stuff. Hammers. There's this tool roll that started me on a path of getting better tool rolls. That thing sucks, by the way. A little utility holster. No, I bought one of these and keep it in one of my bags, but it's really kind of pointless. Oh, brass hammer. Brass hammer doesn't want to stay. Nah. I've bought a few of these little ones over the years, but crap. Straight edge, if you need a cheap straight edge, you know, $3.49. Good to have in combination with clamps. Micrometer. I've been using this micrometer in the shop for quite a while, and aside from the batteries dying pretty quick, it works good enough for what I need it to. Well, that's a fancy tool. Don't really need it. I'm pretty okay at mortising. Oh, the Apache cases. The only one I hadn't bought is this one, because I don't really have a need for one that small that I can think of. This one is holding my microphone and assorted cables, and this is the biggest one. Big one. I've already been down this aisle. And oh yes, these are good. You can get, you know, screw assortments. Come with different things. Brass screws of different sizes. Now, make sure to drill pallet holes for them, because they're not the strongest screws. But just like a variety of roll pins, E-clips. While there's only a few in here that will actually work for us, like these bigger ones we have no need for, so you're more than likely going to use up all these small ones and be left with big ones. Same way with these. You're only going to use everything on that bottom row. These, I have a pack of these. These actually are pretty tough little screws. I was impressed. And that's a bunch of stainless screws for $7. No, 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 no. Please, no. please no. Even though this one has a little Adboy style knockoff key, just no. No, you can slice right through these. Cable ties. Cable ties. Cable ties. Cable ties. Cable ties. I did need to find cable ties. I'm gonna have to go get a basket. And epoxies. Tape. Not fond of the tape, it sticks too much. So I'm gonna go grab a basket and I'm gonna finish the store. No, 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 no. I do need another tarp. Let's go see if we have a cheap. I need to bring my 20% coupon in. Dang it, I gotta go out to the truck. I got my super coupon. Yeah. So that's cool. Saved me a few bucks on this hand riveter. Let's get some other stuff. So that'll save me like $3 or $4 on that. Not great in that, but sounds about right. Oh, tarp. Need a heavier duty. So that's 5x7, $3.99, or 5x7 for $2.99. These are just good to have. Regardless, disposable as then. For $3, if you have to get rid of it, then you go, oh my god, they've moved a bunch of stuff around. I gotta go get something to hold all this stuff. So I'll be right back, but we're gonna come back to that. Making our way back to the back. I will say the only thing out of all the electrical stuff is the heat shrink tubing. That's a good one to get. There's some more. What's this? That's bigger. I really don't need any right now though. But all these plugs and power strips and extension cords, absolutely not. Nope. So where were we? Oh, padlocks. Nope. Need a hand truck. They're okay. I bought one of these. Y'all have seen it in the shop. That has been great. I bet you it's cheaper now too. How much are you? Yeah, I would definitely buy another one of these just because it can roll around 3 shelves, so it's $50, but that's how it's been taking forever to put together. I really enjoy it. There's a bigger one right here. See, 30 by 16. That's a big one. I couldn't stick that in the truck, but be good around the shop for sure. Let's go back over here to these these plastic storage bins, they've definitely moved stuff around. Even though I don't really need any of these right now, I just want to see what they have. You know, these little plastic clips come open fairly easily. These racks are not overly sturdy. So, sweeper, bought that. I, for some reason, still don't carry it in the truck, which I need to because I'm always dropping stuff out of the truck. And this brings us to sanders, band saws, all this big equipment. You know, if you are getting to the point where hammer breaker, I've heard these things work well, these demo hammers, but if you are getting to the point where you're just starting out, these aren't bad. But I've found on a lot of the drill presses, especially the tabletop ones, which I have this one, or an earlier version of this one, that it is not perfect, does not spin perfectly. I've thought about getting one of these. Right here to make into a stamp. But I don't know. A little ollie bed. A little ollie bed. Scissors, 99-cent scissors are okay for about 5 seconds. Whenever y'all see me doing sharpening videos, these are the ones I picked up for it. They're not great, but they're a lot cheaper than DMT brand. So. Frying pans and everything. We're coming up on my favorite section. Probes. Again, these are very handy for locks. Tweezers. None of those are really any good for locks except for maybe this one, but I don't like the shorter tweezers, so skip on that unless you really need a pair of tweezers. You could always grind down one of these bigger ones. This one on the end is probably the only one that I would use. Helicopters and toys. Stretch wrap. I really want to get a roll of this for 25 bucks to shrink wrap a car who parks in our spot. Pretty ticky with my flashlights. Now, these things, these motion lights, security camera, imitation security camera. Yeah, just save up for a real one. No, 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 no. The drill bit section, the welding, if you're into welding, which I have promised myself one day. Oh. So you guys were talking about using welding magnets to hold up a panic bar. Ooh, look at this one. It's a heavy duty one. Or should I get the cheapy ones or the better ones? 35-pound pull force, 20-pound. Well, when we're talking about an expensive panic bar, 90 pounds, large welding magnet. With an on-off switch. $28 though. I did not come in here to buy a $28 magnet. But that is a good idea. But you know, I've been doing it for years without, so, and I do a lot more of it on aluminum doors, and that wouldn't do any good on aluminum doors. So maybe next time I could try these, but I'd hate for a $3 lighter magnet to not stay. You know, this I want to fish around to pick up dropped clips. Instead of that wheelie thing, I should have bought this. Totally should have bought that. Alright, I have one of these. Don't ever use it. I'm wondering if I should get one of these for my GoPro stuff. $15. I could probably fit, this guy would go in there perfectly. As well as my other one, but then I'm stuck carrying around this thing, and I don't really travel. I've got a bag, so I think just don't really need it. On their new Hercules bags, don't really need a bag again, but these, I've looked at them before, and they seem to be pretty tough for as tool bags go. I don't like open ones because they're going to fall over on your truck. Crap's going to go everywhere. Now, these I do like. Y'all have seen me using compartmentalized things like this. However, they're $8.99, $6.99 right now. And again, I don't really have a need for one of them. So I'm going to pass on that $7. Movers blankets. How much are movers blankets? Not bad. Oh, and this leads us to the whole section of drill bits, nut setters, Hercules drill bits that I was talking about. Once I need drill bits again, I'm probably going to come get those. Just to give them a try. But prior to them coming out with this Bauer and Hercules brand, I would have never considered buying drill bits at all because I have broken them. Now they weren't these, they were the other ones that are down here, and when you break them and shove it through your finger, not fun. Not fun at all. Bit holders, always need those, but I don't really need any. I've got actually 2 in my pocket right now, and I have not tried any of these things. Impact wrench, $70. They look like DeWalt, but they're not. Or not DeWalt, I'm sorry, Milwaukee.
The whole case wasn't coming this way.
Then you have the cheaper. The only thing about these cheaper ones is they pull apart, and this is aluminum, so strips out a lot. These are the drill bits to stay away from. Do not ever buy those. Do not ever buy these. Did you get that? Do not ever buy these. And for that matter, any of these. Just not a fan. Now, the hole saws are a little bit different. Hole saws, these have come in handy. I bought a set of those and I didn't like them, so I don't really use them a lot. But these, while they're not the same ones that are $50 or $60 at Home Depot, which I might add, I've had one of those for 10 years and used a lot, and it is still perfectly fine, where those will burn out very quickly. In fact, I think I've burned out a couple of them. That would almost be one of those things that I would go ahead and purchase now. But again, not here for that. Not here for that. Hey. Grinding wheels, wildly dangerous items to trust when you chuck it up, but they've got these, they've got the angled drills. Like right here, you can get them. You can get an angle grinder for $15. Well, they're $18 right now. Those actually work really great. Wire brushes, of course. With wire brushes, you're gonna eventually jab one into your finger, and it hurts like a son of a bitch. And then just sanding stuff. So router bits, doubt I would buy those. Don't really have a real deal router. Heat gun, I have bought that heat gun right there. It's a heat gun. It works perfectly fine for a heat gun. And this trim router right here, even though it's loud, for $30, it works fairly well. What do we got behind us? Planer. I've got one of these. It's not great. I will need a new cutoff straw. Look how cute that is. Look how cute that is. Where's the blade? Hey. This was the one I've got at the shop that I need to replace because I cannot get the blade out. Of course, I could go bigger, but I don't need really bigger chop saws or anything like that. So this will be my next $50 toy. I've missed it ever since my blade got too dull. I've missed having the chop saw because I have to use hacksaw, and that's just no fun. So we're gonna go back over here. I'm trying to remember which thing I actually came for besides the these are great item right here. Great item. Very handy. I suggest for $3 you get one of those. And I know a lot of people are like, don't ever buy anything from Harbor Freight. Don't ever buy this crap from Harbor Freight. But stuff like that, literally, I bought one 10 years ago and it's still sharp and it still works fine. So there's nothing wrong with it. Let's see what's in the bins. This is a flashlight. How much is a flashlight? $14.99. I'll pass. I'm very particular about my flashlights. Cut off wheels, extras, nothing. Let me go back over here one more time to see, just to make sure that I can't remember which sockets that it was. I know it was one of them. And I may have to go outside to look. So, in case that thing doesn't work, I could always get a 3/8 inch drive with the thing already attached. I don't have a set of these. Probably should. If they have a 1/4 inch drive. Quarter inch drive, 1/2 inch drive. They don't have 1/4 inch drives. One of these finger ratchets. Never been fond of finger ratchets. I've got a set of these, and I was gonna get I've got the standard version, and I always meant to come back and get a metric, but I never did. Starbucks. Female star bits, which actually, you know, how often do you run across those? You don't run across them very often. So the only thing they got is the 3/8, and it's $9. I'd rather go buy a cutter for $9. Oh, come on. And I think I am gonna do that because, but I've got my hammer thing, so we're good there. That would come in handy. So yeah, if you're, working on a car, if you work on cars, and you need just one of these little whatever things for 1 or 2 uses for $25 compared to other stuff, it's totally worth it in my opinion. I've heard their torque wrenches are really good too, but I don't ever need a torque wrench. So, but I think I'm gonna go over here and get one of these. So the yellow price, I'm not an ITC member, and $20, so $21 for a big pallet bolt cutter, $31 for a big wire crimping tool. I don't need that. I could cut chain. But for $9 compared to $12, and I can get a bigger opening. I think I'm going to do that. Now it looks much better. Yep, $12. And that's it. Some of these big old tool chests, even though I don't really need these big old tool chests, have always appealed to me, as well as this doodad over here. This is one of those things that I always mean to pick up, but I never do. But paper towel holder. $9.99. I got those. Never bought those because it's kind of silly. Tubular Lux. Let's see, 0589. And it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No. You know, one last thing before I go to the front. Snap ring pliers are pretty much a necessity in our trade. And while these look like they would fit in wiser snap rings and other ones, I've never tried them. And I don't really need them, so It's just one of those things. If anybody else has tried those for $4, let me know in the comments. I've got plenty of rivets. I'm actually putting in an order for flathead rivets from eBay because nobody makes countersunk head rivets around here locally. So the only thing I'm left with now is this guy. I'd really like it, but I don't want to spend another $20 on that. I've got other crap I've got to buy, so that's it, y'all. Not bad for a grill. Looks just like a Milwaukee because it's red. Security does her joke. Thank you. So $45.53 for what amounts to what looks like something I'm about to go get into something illegal doing. I mean, the combination of zip ties, even though they're little zip ties, and bolt cutters and a tarp. I only could have capped that off if I would have bought rope. So yeah, there we go. I gotta run over to Walmart as well to get one thing that Walmart sells. So I'm gonna throw this in the back of my truck real quick and run over next door to Walmart. I'm glad I got that nut threader tool. However, nobody sells 1/4-inch threaded inserts except for locally. The only place I found them is Northern Tool, which I actually had done a video on that because I ran up front. They had a sale bin, and they had a bunch of 1/4-inch, 5/16, 3/8 metal drill bits marked down to like 99 cents each. So of course I grabbed every one of them, and then a few other things. So that was a good score. But they actually had some of those threaded inserts, except they're made of metal and they're a little bit harder, or harder aluminum. They're a little bit harder to tighten. So we'll just see how this tool works. In the meantime, let's go hang in Walmart. Hey y'all, thanks for watching that video. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure and do so by clicking on the link up here in the corner of the screen. We really appreciate all y'all who watch our videos and subscribe to our channel. Thanks again for watching.